Hey everybody, welcome to another video about my journey into the world of game dev. My name is Brandon, aka Beat on Bits, and in this video, I'll be showcasing my first small game project that I finished as part of the Unity Junior Programmer Learning Pathway. I'll show you a short gameplay demo and walk through some of the code, so let's go. Alright, so the name of the game is Unu Run, and you play as a fox named Unu, who you can control with the WASD or arrow keys. And what's going to happen is as you're running around, these balls come in and try to attack you, and you just click on them with your mouse and the balls go boom. And you get a point for each ball that you explode. You also have a shield that you can use to absorb the balls and gain health, but you won't get any points for doing that. So you can change the color of your shield or turn the shield off by cycling through the shield colors using the Q and E keys. Yeah, so that's the controls and that's the objective of the game. So let's do a little gameplay demo. The music in the game is also from my friend Daniel the Worm, so be sure to check him out on Instagram if you enjoy the music. It's his first time actually making this kind of 8-bit music, so I thought he did a pretty good job. So here we go, we just click on these balls to destroy them. And I can turn on a shield and absorb the same color of balls as my shield, but you see my points don't go up for that. Another thing is if you have a shield on and you take damage from a ball that's not the same color as your shield, you actually lose 2 health instead of 1 health. So you're playing a little bit more risky to absorb balls instead of just clicking on them. So that adds kind of another layer of challenge to the game. I made the game end actually when you reach the 99th wave, each wave being 4 balls that comes at you. And at about every 5 waves, the time between waves gets shorter and shorter, so you slowly get more and more balls coming at you, and less of a break in between. You can see my health in the upper left-hand corner, which will probably go to 0 right away because I'm surrounded by balls. Yeah. So at this end screen here, you see the game over, how many waves you've been through, your accuracy, which is your score divided by the total amount of clicks that you clicked, and your final score. And you can also start a new game from here if you want, and try it all again. So here we are in the Unity game editor. To look at the game itself and all of the various objects that exist in the game. You can see a game preview here on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is just show you a little bit of the game running here as well, just so I can explain some things that are kind of going on behind the scenes at somewhat high level before we actually go into the scripts themselves and look at the actual code. So if I just give us a bit of extra health just for the sake of the demo so I don't have to worry about dying anytime soon. Let's hit play here and we can explain some stuff. So there isn't a whole lot going on in terms of how many game objects are in play. Like we have the player, we have the game manager, which manages spawning more enemies and whatnot. And you can see these enemies kind of appearing and disappearing in this list as well. So how this works actually is there is a number of seconds between each wave of enemies that appears. And every 5 waves, I decrease this number by 1 until we reach 1 second between waves, at which point every wave I decrease the time by 1%. So the difficulty kind of ramps up once you get about past wave 25 or so. Also, there is the, if you see here, it looks kind of weird, like this up and down moving square. That's actually the ground that we're running on. And it's just kind of an infinitely looping set of ground tiles to make it look like we're running. So if we actually zoom in here, you're going to see like there's not actually, like the ground is not that big. It's just kind of like going back and forth, making it look like we're running forever and ever. And you can see like all of these balls kind of just spawning from the edge just outside of the camera view here as they come in. Yeah, and then they disappear once they hit you or once you click them. So that's kind of the overview at a high level of how the game works when you're looking at it in the editor. So next, let's jump into the code and explore how some of the logic actually works. So here we are in the actual code files themselves, aka the scripts. So I'll just go through the scripts alphabetically. There's not a whole lot. We've only got 6 scripts total for this entire game that I've written. The first one, very self-explanatory, it's camera shake. So this is just a script that gets attached to the game camera itself. And every time that you get hit by one of the balls, the screen shakes a bit just to give you some kind of feedback that you're getting damaged. The next script that we have is the enemy controller. So this is the script that is attached to all of the balls themselves, and this tells them to move towards the player at any given speed, and once it hits the player, it either adds health if it sees that the player has a shield that's the same color as the ball, or it damages them if there's no shield, and double damages them if there's a shield with the wrong color. This also listens for when there's a mouse click on the object itself, which tells it to show that explosion effect and then destroy itself. The next script that we have is the game manager. This is kind of the most of the big brains of the operation. It has the most stuff going on inside because this one handles which state of the game we're in. So this will show you the title screen, it'll show you the end screen, and it's responsible for updating the UI and stuff as the game goes on. So this also handles the time in between waves of enemies. So we can see here there's kind of just this if else section that says, okay, if we're less than 5 waves, this is the time. If we're less than 10 waves, this is the time. And it kind of decrements as we go down until we are above wave 25, and then we decrease the spawn time by 1% every single wave, and it tells all the enemies where to spawn exactly. They're kind of randomized somewhere along the top, bottom, left, and right side of the screen, so there's 4 every time with these 4 random spawn positions. So I actually found a bug while we were looking through this. I wanted the game to end at 99 waves, but it actually ended at 50 waves, and all of a sudden told you that you're at 99 waves. So my bad. But yeah, once you're at the end game screen, it has this end game condition of the wave being above or equal to 99. And then it shows you like how many waves you've been through, your accuracy, and final score. It also listens for whether or not you want to restart the game. So all it does when it restarts the game is reloads that whole scene, because there's only one scene in this game. So once you reload, it just kind of clears all the info out and you're back at the start of the game. This also listens for incrementing the score, incrementing the number of clicks to determine your accuracy. The next one is move down. Both actually move down and repeat background are how that background keeps repeating itself seamlessly. The move down script is attached to that picture of the ground, and it just keeps it moving down. And then the repeat background checks to see how far you've moved down, and if you moved past a certain point, then reset it back to another point. So it makes it seem like you're just running on an infinite amount of ground, even though there's 100% finite amount of ground. And lastly, the player controller is what is attached to the player. This actually listens for the movement keys, so your WASD to move the player around. Also the Q and E keys to change the color of your shield. And it also listens for your clicks to determine your accuracy. Also in here is the logic to take damage. So it decreases your health by the amount of damage that comes in, and this also shakes the camera. Also, it listens for that amount of damage that gets sent in by the enemy controller script. So that was a gameplay demo, a high-level overview of the game objects inside of the game engine, and a look at the code. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you want to see more, I'll leave a link to the itch.io page where you can actually play the game yourself if you want to. Just note that it only works in your browser and not on mobile. Also, a link to the code base on my GitHub, so check the description for those. Next steps that I'm going to do is continue on with this Unity course. I'm only about 1/4 of the way through, but at every quarter, I believe there's another game project similar to this one. I'm planning to make a video for each of those game projects to hopefully work on not only the quality of these game projects that I put out, but also my own ability to present the games to you and share this information. I hope that if you want to watch those videos, you provide some feedback for me in the comments. So feel free to not only provide feedback on the game itself that I release, but also on the video that you're watching. So feel free to leave those for me at any time. After I finish this course, I'll finally start real development on the game that I've been wanting to make for a long time now. So I'm looking forward to that, and I hope that you are too. Of course, along the way, I'll continually be uploading these weekly new game release stream highlights with guests. The reason being for these is that they're fun to do, first of all, and also I think it's useful to see what makes a new game stand out and get an idea of what other people like to see in new games before they actually try them. So I'm hoping to learn from that and embody that when I finally do release my own game. So I hope you're looking forward to that. So thanks for sticking with me, and we'll see you soon.